this is crazy, but here's my number, so call me maybe. It's hard to look right at you, baby, but here's my number, so call me maybe. Hey, I just met you, and this is crazy, but here's my number, so call me maybe. And all the other boys are trying to chase me, but here's my number, so call me maybe.
I got summer on my mind, nowhere else, no Lord, take me downtown to you. People show me love, but I can't take it. What I said was true, real pain can't fake it. Still they wanna be with me, still they wanna leave with me, still they wanna feel like me, still I can't believe it's me. Time you spend on me, I spend mine on being free. On a flight to NYC, I see you and you see me. I wonder why you want to lie when you see me cry, when you see me shy, when you see me high, when you see me die. Where we from, you don't know. You will know where we will go. Yeah, I'm here, where are you? There's nothing you can do. We up in here with one thing on mind, let's leave with something. Then we play still straight my way all day. In beats by Dre, then we go and get buzzed, get drunk, get crunk, get fucked up. I am SY, no lie, at least you get to witness. Killed so many songs, you think I have a hit list. That's straight, where we love your money business. 'Cause we young and we get money. Divertia AfterDark.
Disclaimer: Divertia AfterDark is intended for mature audiences and is in no way affiliated with the Divertia ENMU student radio show. Thank you, and enjoy.
Good evening. Hi there. Isaiah and I, my name is Luke. Isaiah and I have got a special show for you tonight. We're going to be discussing an album by a band that Isaiah has a lot of respect for and likes very much. Hi, Isaiah.
Hello. And yes, we do. Yes, we do. I hold this group in high regards, extreme high regards. Before we start up with that, just kind of get out the real basic stuff. Like, how are you doing today, Luke?
I'm doing pretty good. How have you been this past week?
I'm doing pretty good. It's been an okay week.
All right.
Alrighty, so let's go ahead and
jump right into it.
Let's just go ahead and sure. All right, so this week we're gonna be doing something a little different. we're going to be doing a track by track for an album that recently came out. This album being from a group that has not released an album in about, I'd say 16 years. It's been 16 years since their first album, their debut album, Since I Left You. The Avalanches have come out with their sophomore album, Wildflower. Luke today, I believe this is like his first time listening to it. He listened to it the first time today.
Oh yes, that's right. I think it was earlier this afternoon.
Me personally, I've probably listened to it a good few times already. I'd say a good maybe 10 times I've listened to this album, just to kind of get the full grasp of the idea of the album, and like listen to every little bitty detail. For those who do not know who the Avalanches are one of the most popular plunderphonics group out there. Plunderphonics being, without using like going on and on, plunderphonics pretty much is taking a massive amount of samples and just creating something brand new. If you have not already, I really highly suggest listening to their first album, Since I Left You. That is one of the greatest albums of all time. So, with that being said, there was a lot of pressure for the Avalanches to come out with this upcoming album, especially with that 16-year wait. There's like a lot of hype behind it. And, if we're all being real, you can't live up to a 16-year hype. It would have to be a, the greatest thing in the world. So, but that does not mean, this album wasn't great. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to be doing a track by track of Wildflower, all 21 tracks. So let's get it started.
Now wait, before we begin and go track by track, can we get a whole like in general thing first out of the way?
Sure, like
okay,
what's the album?
So yeah, like cuz I listened to it without knowing hardly anything about the band, about the samples they may have used. Not that that would really matter, I don't think, but I don't know, my thoughts on it, I don't know if I fully understand it though. That's the thing.
With the album and like understanding it might take a little while because honestly, like one go through.
Listening to it, I felt like it was the most dreamlike piece of music I'd ever listened to, because one track flows seamlessly into the next one, and you have so many different things. You have things that like make callbacks to the 1940s. You have a guy coming in, I don't know if it's Bismarcky or someone who sounds like Bismarcky, but you have someone coming in rapping about Captain Crunch, and like it was I kind of didn't know where I was when I was listening to it in the middle of hearing it all. So I'd like to understand what the story is, if there is a story, because I felt like there might have been one, and what the idea of it is.
That was one of the main things with Since I Left You, the Avalanches' first album, was the seamlessness of the album, that every track flowed into the next one, and it was just kind of like one big track, like it just fit together so perfectly. And the if I'm not wrong, I believe Since I Left You had the story of someone kind of getting over a relationship type situation. Whilst in an interview with the Avalanches, they said that the story or the idea that they were trying to portray with Wildflower was a was kind of like a trip around the world.
A trip around the world?
Yeah, like every track is like it's supposed to kind of like take you places, you know, places that you've never been before. And for me, honestly, like that kind of it did that pretty well. You know, it took me places, and it, like I could close my eyes and I felt like I was just in like almost like another dimension, almost. You know, like in different places
see,
of
that's
the
what
world.
That's what I kind of felt like, because like I said, I didn't really know where I was at because I was hearing all these genre conventions all mixed together. Like I was being taken culture through culture or generation through generation or something like that. That's what I kind of felt. Yeah,
like that's understandable. Like it's there's a lot of like theories and stuff about you know, like what Wildflower meant, and you know, one that I kind of like believe might be true is like, what if this is like because Since I Left You was supposed to be the girls the girls side of it, like her getting over the relationship, whilst someone said that this is kind of like the guys the guy's side of the ending of the relationship and him kind of, you know, finding himself. That's one that I personally believe, but there's a lot of like different ideas and stuff, and honestly I feel like Wildflower might just be one of those albums that's just up to personal interpretation and how you feel about it and what it makes you feel, because there's just a lot of different themes.
But like I felt like the story that's being told, it had to do something to do with childhood, because what still gets me is the Captain Crunch and the cereal, and then the kid during the Subway song. But Isaiah,
there's a lot of like.
What do you think this album means? What do you?
For me personally, the album is a it's an experience. It's how do you say it? Like for me, it's one of those albums that will take you on a journey. You know, actually today, me and Lorenzo kind of took like a little bit of a road trip, and we had Wildflower playing, and that album just kind of adds this finesse to the experience. Like it's one of those albums that you can take places and it'll just match so perfectly with any situation that takes you on trips or on a vacation or anywhere. It's just one of those albums that just takes you on a journey.
Wow. So how do we, so if we're gonna go track by track, let's start with the first one.
Alright, so
from beginning to end.
The first track that we have is The Leaves Are Falling, I believe. The Leaves Were Falling. And this one was a bit of a strange, I would say. It's a 19-second track, and it's just a bit of background. You know, it builds up to the following song, but The Leaves Were Falling was just a little, I'm not sure if it was just, for me, I kind of almost felt like it was filler, not necessarily filler, but it could have easily been put attached to the beginning of the second song.
Oh, can I say something? There's an album, what that 15-second intro track reminded me of was an album by Dragon Force. I think it was their first album. Dragon Force had a 14, I think, second intro track, and then before going into the actual album, I don't know, Dragon Force did something similar. That's what it reminded me of anyway.
Yeah. I mean, I don't find anything wrong with this track necessarily. It's it's a good way to start up the album. You know, I mean, hearing it for the first time, you know, after 16 years, this is the first thing that you're hearing.
Yeah.
It gets your heart pumping. You know, it's like something's happening, something's coming, So the leaves were falling is just kind of that hey, we're back type track. Like I don't have any I say particular complaints about this track. It's fairly simple, background noise, I guess you could say. But the real big thing is the track that follows, being Because I'm Me. And this track is godlike. For me personally, like, after the leaves were falling, and when Because I'm Me comes on, that, I say, that kid singing, him doing, singing the lyrics, and, it sounds a little bit, muffled, like when I first listened to it, like, I thought, oh, is this the quality, isn't superb,
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, I must have gotten, like, a really low quality version, and then, after that little bitty, chorus that he goes through at the beginning, the horns come in, the horns come in crystal clear, like, I've never, like, experienced something like that in an album where, like, they messed with the quality of the sound and, like, wove it together so well,
And then they bring it back to full quality. Yeah,
and, like, you can hear, like these were obviously, like, vinyl samples, because you can kind of hear the crackling in one track or one part of the sampling, and, like, one part being a lot more clear, and, like, you can hear that they kind of, like, just kept that vinyl sound to it, so it adds, like, a weird sense of nostalgia and kind of throwback. And I thought that was, and then you have the horns come in, and you have, like, this really vibrant horn section, and then you have Camp Low. Camp Low comes in rapping, and that like astonished me, because there hasn't necessarily been any sort of rapping in a Avalanches song since El Producto being their an EP, one of their first releases, and I don't know, like, the rapping flows really perfectly. Camp Low's verses are real smooth and real, crisp, and overall this track was just so spicy. What are your thoughts on it, Luke?
What are my thoughts on it? This is an album that I'll have to listen to several times more, because it's very hard. I'll admit, it's pretty hard to mentally separate the tracks from each other at some points. So I don't know. I mean, to start the album, I was like, this is something else, as it was getting started.
Yeah, like, it's it blew me away, like that. The start of the album is just kind of like, whoa, did that really happen, but yeah, after Because I'm Me, we come in to the first single of the album, or this is the first thing that ever came off of the album. When the Avalanches announced that they were coming back, they released the single Frankie Sinatra. Frankie Sinatra features Danny Brown and MF Doom. Danny Brown being the, I believe he's from Detroit, Detroit-based rapper. Correct me if I'm wrong, but and also the mysterious and notorious MF Doom, known for being really, secretive with anything he does. Because for me, at least, rumors were circling around that Danny Brown had done a couple of tracks with the Avalanches, and that he was going to be on Frankie Sinatra. Pretty much everyone knew that Danny Brown was going to be on Frankie Sinatra. When I initially heard it, because the debut was on Triple J, an Australian radio station, they announced, they're like, we have the first single from the Avalanches, Frankie Sinatra. We have Mr. Danny Brown, and we also have a second, feature on here. And everyone was freaking out because no one had any idea that that MF Doom was on this track. And listening to the track initially, like, it was a lot of people had a issue, I believe, with the Frankie Sinatra sample. A lot of people thought it to be a bit how to say it, I guess annoying. For me personally, I found no problem with the sample. I thought it was really charming.
No, I thought it was awesome. People,
yeah, I thought this. There's a certain crowd, like, that isn't too fond of Frankie Sinatra. I mean, I personally like it, but going into the track, you start off with the transfer from song to song, and they like transition so perfectly. Like, you start off with that "Because I'm Me," and like you have that talking, and it kind of fades into kind of like I vision like this bar scene, or like this club, and they're like, yeah, over there, it's gonna be sick, it's gonna be awesome, and then you kind of hear the sample kind of like fading in from "Because I'm Me," and then you hear that Frankie Sinatra, and then it just kind of on the track, it's just full blown there, and then after a couple of Frankie Sinatra's, you hear Danny Brown's verse comes in, and he's rapping about taking a couple of different substances. And
yeah. If I take another step, I might die.
And I'm just like, that's some good stuff. And then after, I believe, two verses from Danny Brown, you get that MF Doom feature as well. Him singing about sipping some vodka, etc. And what's interesting, and what I found really interesting about this track, is that they got a Sound of Music sample approved. They got what's that song called? I can't remember these are a few of my favorite things.
I think so, yeah.
They get the sample cleared, which was actually pretty surprising, knowing how stubborn Disney is with their
copyright.
Yeah, with their copyright and all that. So
sure.
That was pretty amazing that they got that cleared, and it fits so well. It kind of teases at like the dreamy vibes that are to come from the album. It's like, hey, this isn't just a rap album. There's more flavor to it. And then after that, you get that after the sample, the Wonderful World sample. Is it a Wonderful World or Sound of Music?
I
think it's a Wonderful World.
I think it's
one of those.
I'm not sure. I think it's the Sound of Music, honestly.
Yeah, I think you might be right. It's one of those two movies. But after that sample, this is one of my not necessarily kind of gripes. Is after that sample, you get that from the sample, and then it drops really quiet. I personally feel like the sample or the transition there could have been a little bit more crisp. That's just me. I mean, I'm not no music producer, so I don't necessarily know, what the what they were trying to come across. Like, it seems together very well, but at the same time, it's a little bit too, not as smooth as most transitions on Since I Left You. But after that, that the track overall was a really good track. What were your initial thoughts on the track, Luke? We're on Frankie Sinatra right now. Uh-huh. Yeah, it's a pretty good banger, honestly. But after that track, we do after that weird transition. It does kind of bring it saves it, and we get into the track Subways. Subways being this, I believe, it's the third single off of the album. Subways is a interesting track. I don't know how to explain this track. It's this whole album is really hard to explain, but it starts off with kind of these this kind of weird whistle things kind of going, and then this little kid singing, you walk on the subways, and he sings for a while, and then you hit that weird disco, kind of disco vibe. The strings come in, and it's just really funky and really disco influenced.
Oh yeah, and you'll hear that throughout the album, the disco stuff mixed in with the rapping.
Yeah, it's a very intricate and flavorful album. This track Subways has a couple of interesting samples. One of the more out there samples being from Will Smith's "Get Jiggy with It." You can hear that sample just kind of somewhere amongst the track. But overall, this track has this really disco vibe. It's something you can dance to. If you were at a roller rink, you could probably, if this were to come on, you'd grab your girl, and do a little bit of romantic rollerblading type. But I'm not sure. It's one of my favorite tracks off the album. It's not the favorite. It happens to be Lorenzo's favorite.
It's one of my favorites too. I think as soon as I heard it, I was like, "Oh, I like this song."
Yeah, I believe Subways is getting a music video. As of right now, the music video hasn't been released, but there has been one for Frankie Sinatra, that being the only one with the music video right now. But Subways, great track. It's probably one of those songs that you would probably show to someone if you were trying to get them into the Avalanches. You'd probably show them Since I Left You, and you'd probably show them Subways, and kind of ease them into the idea of the Avalanches. Subways is amazing. Good track. Do you have any more input on the track?
It is definitely a good track. Yeah, like I said about Frankie Sinatra, when you put a modern twist on old songs, it's just something else. And I do have something to say about Subways. This was the beginning. As I was listening to the album, Subways was the start of like, is this about like a kid or something? Because don't you hear more than one kid singing on the album?
Yeah, there's a couple of different kids singing throughout the.
I don't know. Like this album took me to like weird places. I guess like I'm a little lost, honestly. Like it's definitely a journey to listening to it. But yeah, Subways was the start of me thinking like, trying to grasp an idea of what the story is.
Yeah, Subways is the first track that kind of takes it from that that hip hop vibe, you know.
Yeah, definitely. You could say Subways is the beginning of the unique original like part of the album. I mean, it's all original, but you know what I mean, like the part that can't be categorized at all, like cannot be categorized.
Yeah, it takes it from that like really hip-hoppy vibe.
There doesn't seem to be any categorical boundaries in the later tracks. That's what it seems like to me.
Yeah, I can see where you're coming from with that. But yeah, after Subways, we get another one of them really great transitions. It's one of my favorite transitions into one of my more favorite tracks off the album. Going Home. Going Home is it's a shorter track. I believe it's just about 2 minutes and 6 seconds. Going Home is very reminiscent of the genre future funk. I'm not sure if you're familiar with that, but future funk is like a genre that kind of takes like older like 80s type music and kind of adding this like modern pop flavor to it.
Okay, so is it kind of like retrowave but more disco-y?
Future funk is kind of like I guess you would kind of like put it in the future funk would probably be in like the vaporwave genre-esque, not necessarily, but it would be in that area. Future funk is more poppy and dance type.
So that's what I was listening to. It's weird like hearing a totally new like part of, like little genre of music that like you don't even know what it's called until you tell me.
Yeah,
it's
like
very
I
interesting.
mean, and Going Home has that like that I'm not sure what the sample is, but it's just so groovy and funky, and it just makes me want to like move, and it repeats, and I'm not sure. It's just so good. This track is so good. Overall, it's pretty short, and yeah. Any thoughts on the track, please?
Well, I just learned what future funk is. I'm gonna have to look more into that. I didn't even know I was listening to that.
Yeah,
that's probably what disoriented me. I was listening throughout the album because I was like, "What is that? It's like disco. It's like something from the '80s. Like, what am I listening to?"
Yeah, it has like a lot of flavor to it. Like this one track.
Definitely.
This one track happens to be like future funk-esque. While Subways is disco, Frankie Sinatra being hip hop. Same thing with like. Because I'm me, but
a lot of flavor.
But after Going Home, we come into personally my favorite track off the album. We have not some people it's not their favorite, but for me at least, we have If I Was a Folk Star. The picture not upload. We have If I Was a Folk Star. If I Was a Folk Star is a really minimal-esque track, very soothing, and it features a Mr. Toro y Moi. Toro Imoa, I'm extremely familiar with his work. I've been listening to him for years now, and hearing that he was on the album, got me really excited. And this track is like very. It reminds me of kind of like, driving through traffic at late at night.
No, I totally get that. I totally understand that.
Because you have like, these weird like, kind of like synths going on. Then you hear like the cars just kind of driving by, their horns and like, cars driving by. And it just kind of like puts me in that situation of you driving at night, and like late night traffic.
Oh yeah.
And then it's kind of like you're driving with like like a significant other, because when the lyrics come in, like it goes on for a while, and like Toro Imoa comes in and he starts singing about let's wake up side by side, and but it's like it's kind of heartbreaking at the same time, because like if you listen to the lyrics, he's like saying that he can't be there every weekend. So it's like, for me, I envision like the guy, like this kind of like comes into play with the whole like the guy's side of the breakup theory, because he's kind of singing about he wants to be with this girl, but he can't because of scheduling and I guess all that jazz. So it's like them driving together, knowing that there's like a inevitable end to the relationship.
Okay.
That's how I see the track. And what are your thoughts on it, Luke?
Well, like you said, the driving at night thing, this would be, like you said, this would be like, this album, listening to it can fit so many different situations and environments, but I think like one of the best would be just driving at night, listening to this album. And sure, that track too, the whole album could be like, it just fits.
Oh yeah, I mean, I have driven to this album at night, like it's.
Oh, you actually have?
Yeah, like it's actually a wonderful experience, and this this track
I need
comes
to do
on,
that. I need to do that.
because it's just something else, like I highly recommend listening to it in your car, because it it adds another like vibe to the album that just listening to it in your room. Like, I mean, listening to it in your room gives you one certain vibe, and listening to it like while driving gives you another. But each vibe isn't necessarily a bad, like a better one. Like it's just its own feeling, and
Right,
that's what
right.
that's what I really enjoy. But after, if I was a folk star, you kind of get this like quieter transition, and this is when things start getting a little on the weirder side. You come into the track Colors. Colors features Jonathan Donahue of Mercury Rev, and this track is, listening to it for the first time, I did not understand this track at all. I was like, I'm not sure what's going on, like this is different. And then after a while, like the Avalanches did something like really, really interesting here, being that they took a bunch of like instrumental and vocal samples. I'm not sure of Mr. Donahue himself, but they put them in reverse. So there's samples being played in reverse.
Really?
Like, I did not catch that the first time I listened to this, because it was just so strange, like I was like, what's going on? Like, I'm like just trying to listen to the lyrics, and I couldn't, because like I didn't understand why. And then like I listened to it again, and I was like, it's in reverse. And
was it like one of those feelings where you're not sure if like they're speaking English or another language? Is it one of those things?
yeah, Yeah, I was like, is he speaking English?
Like,
you
it
know?
sounds like English, but for some reason I can't catch anything.
Yeah. And that was like really like interesting one, or really cool when I heard it for the second time. Like that was like it got me really like, it kind of was like, I was like, whoa, you know, it gave me this like really cool vibe. And then yeah, like I mean, after a while, like the backwards chorus, Jonathan Donahue comes in and he starts singing about just this and that, one of the big lyrics being, where did all the mermaids go? And him singing about all this just like colorful stuff, like the track in itself is almost like an acid trip, it's just strange,
Yeah.
And actually, like a fun fact about that track for the people who didn't know, if you do reverse the reverse samples, it's singing. I believe it says, if there's heartache, there's a heart, and it's singing that backwards, which I thought was like a really like sweet and like really a really nice touch.
Oh yeah. So wait, is this the only track that features backwards? I mean, tracks in reverse? Like
no. I'll get to that here in a second.
Ah, okay. Because I'm wondering just how many what could we call them? Easter eggs can be found like in this album. Are people still debating it, exploring it, writing about it?
Yeah. I mean, this album came out pretty recently. It came out on I believe July 8th, so last Friday.
It's
so
only been 8 days. Wow.
Yeah, since the official release. And yeah, so do you have any other thoughts on Colors?
Other thoughts on Colors? Makes me wonder if there are other cool Easter eggs or secret hidden messages in the rest of the album. That's all I gotta say about Colors.
Yeah, Colors was very interesting, and it's a really wonderful track. And after Colors, we come into the track Zap. Zap being I guess like a transitional type track. This one also including reverse reverse samples. It's really it's a really nice touch. And then it kind of like transitions into this almost. It reminds me of a 50s TV. Like it has that that instrumentation of. Have you ever just watched one of those shows where one of the characters is just a little bit down and out?
Sure.
And it has that like that really that muted trumpet, when like the light strings, and it has this kind of like that internal monologue. That's kind of what Zap reminds me of, like towards the end of the track. I like Zap. It's a really good transition track. It's very interesting. What are your thoughts on Zap?
My thoughts on Zap. What track number is this? Is this like 6, 5?
This one is being track number 8.
Oh, Zap is track 8. Okay, so we're like not even at the halfway mark of the album, and we've already seen a lot of we've already heard a lot of interesting things. A lot of flavor, definitely.
Yeah, it's an interesting track. And then towards the end of Zap, you start kind of like getting into this it's almost like a news reporter, and this is where things kind of go places. Zap is the transition into the Noisy Eater. The Noisy Eater is a track. The Noisy Eater is a track featuring the you were right, the famous Biz Markie.
It was Biz Markie. I knew it was.
And it's a it's a track. It's a track. It starts off with that reporter, kind of, it gives you that vibe of, waking up in the morning and, turning on the news, and then, you get that kazoo going on. And then you get these crunching sounds, it's like crunch, 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 munch, When I first heard this track, I was like, yo, what's going on,
Yeah, this was one of the tracks that like really got me.
Yeah, this track's really fun. It's really silly. You have Biz Markie, rapping about, him being hungry and him wanting to eat some Cheerios and Captain Crunch, and he's like, please feed me, my tank is on empty, like. And then the most this track actually has another really surprising sample. I'm not sure if you caught it, but this track has a Beatles sample.
No way.
This track has samples come together.
Yes. The kids.
Yeah, the kids.
I did catch it. It was the kids, like the chorus.
Yeah, the kids are singing "Come Together."
I did catch that.
That was
Sorry.
Oh no, that was another one of the real impressive samples that they got a hold of.
Now that leads me to something here. One of my biggest things about this album is that because of all the samples, right? Because when I heard the kids singing that, I was like, wait, I know that song. What is that song? A lot of this album sounds like hauntingly familiar, and I don't really know why though. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, it kind of creates this faux nostalgia, like you've been here before,
Yeah, that's exactly what it is. Yeah.
And yeah, the Noisy Eater, I don't know, man. It's just it's
something.
It is great. I love this track so much. There was, again with this track, there were some people who had gripes about it, but it's great. I love this track. You have Biz Markie singing about eating breakfast. What's greater than that?
What more could you ask for?
Exactly. Also, this track has that really cool. It has that break too in the middle where it has that really loud and orchestral. With the horns. A Renaissance type situation. Very reminiscent of Sgt. Pepper, Beatles,
Yeah.
So it's an amazing track, and it's one of those tracks you can probably play. Me and Lorenzo, when this track comes on, we're hype. This is one of the hype tracks. But yeah, I like it a lot.
It's one that you gotta bump in the car.
Oh yeah, for sure. It's another one of them bangers. But yeah,
Definitely.
do you have any how to say it? Feedback on the track?
It was one of my favorites.
Yeah, it's pretty good. It's pretty good. But yeah, after that we come into we're reaching towards the latter half of the album. The next track being Wildflower. Wildflower being a relatively short track. It's it includes like this kind of, dreamy type thing again. It reintroduces it brings it back down to that dreamy idea of, floating, and there's like these chimes and these bells and like this, it's kind of like thundering drum, and these, I don't know how to say, it was like horns and strings and flutes and all that jazz, and it adds this like floaty feeling, like kind of something like you would like hear if like like floating on clouds was real, and like you were up there and you just heard these floating music in the sky.
Yeah.
I like Wildflower. It's relatively short. No gripes with it. It brings it back down to that floaty feeling again, and I'm really fond of that like dreamy type of music. What are your thoughts, Luke?
I think the middle part of the album, with the future funk and the disco stuff, gives me this feel, like in my imagination of a nightclub sort of environment, or just like a city at night. That's the sort of feel that I get. I can't remember what I was thinking as it transitioned to the latter half. Maybe I'll need a refresher.
Oh yeah, I know. Like this album's it's kind of one of those you kind of have to listen to a couple of times to kind of fully understand. But after that, we come into another one of my personal favorites. We come into Harmony. Harmony is it starts with kind of like almost like a Sesame Street type situation. It spells out the word harmony. In collective. You got HARM. And it kind of reminds me of 80s Sesame Street, if that makes any sense.
Yeah.
And it reminds me of that, and like the beginning is like, and then you get this like weird like kind of like sample where it's this guy, and he's like, we're gonna say every letter of the alphabet, and you just shout out if you hear yours, and it's like, and then after that you get like that kind of like dreamy like disco-y vibe again, and it's this guy is just kind of singing the word harmony, and it's, I don't know, it just gets me because it's like if you took the first half of the album, the second half, the first, I guess, sixth of the album, the first couple of songs and the next couple of songs, and then you just kind of compile them into one, you get harmony. That, just for me personally, that's how I see it. It's a little bit of both worlds, and it just really makes me feel good.
Oh yeah, definitely.
What are your thoughts on Harmony, Luke?
Harmony. We're getting into for some reason, I had more of a time mentally separating the tracks in the last half of the album, or maybe the last third. The last third, I think. I don't know why. But Harmony was, I liked it. I liked it.
And then after that, after Harmony, we get into another really interesting track. This one being, let me see if I get the name right, because I always get it right, but it's Live a Lifetime Love. This track is features a Mr. Ariel Pink and Paris Persian. This track is it starts off kind of like dreamy, and then it builds off that like harmony, and then it kind of starts in like little bit of like chanty-ish, you know, like 70s. That's kind of like what it reminds me of, like the 70s. And then you kind of get that, like, you know, that drum, and then it kind of like cuts into like this like I believe it's Persian or Paris doing the rapping, and you know he has that like kind of back and forth flow where it's like da 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 da, and then like you have Ariel Pink with his like, you know, his really baritone voice, you know, you're like singing it's lifetime, live a lifetime love, you know, or whatever he's saying. And you know, I personally think this track could probably live up to being a single. It has like this really, you know, bumpin' banger attitude, and it's just how you say it, it's just interesting. It's one of those albums, it brings it back up, or one of those songs that brings it back up from that dreaminess again, and it brings it up to like this really high point of you know, I guess hip hop, which is really interesting.
Oh yeah, like is it am I wrong, or is most of the rapping found in the latter half?
I believe it's kind of like it's a bit separated, you know. There's only about this track and I believe another track that have rapping. I believe the first half actually has a lot more of the rapping, you know, with Because on Me, Frankie Sinatra, The Noisy Eater. Yeah, overall, it's just kind of it's pretty balanced out, you know.
Yeah, okay. All right.
But yeah, I believe it's this track, where it has the dog sample. Is it this one? Hold on, I'm checking right now actually.
Dogs? A song called Dogs?
No, it's just like, is it on this one? Yeah, it's on this one. I believe it's on this one where like there's like just like a dog that woofs, and it just makes me laugh. Like, but
I don't remember that.
Yeah, like honestly, like a lot of the samples I just didn't catch them like the first time, but I don't know, like I would recommend kind of going through it again just to kind of like catch all.
No, definitely, I will definitely.
But after Live a Lifetime Love, we come into another one of the shorter tracks, which is I guess transitional, but at the same time it's a track in and of itself. We have Park Music. Park Music kind of starts off with like kind of where Live a Lifetime Love left off with, like kind of like these people talking, and you know them just kind of laughing and you know having a good time. And then you get into like the second half, which is just kind of like some kind of ooze, I guess you could say, like kind of like a really smooth not elevator music, like I'm not sure, kind of ABBA-ish, you know, ooze, you know, them singing, and like you have that kind of like high register keyboard in the background. It's really interesting transition. There's not much to say about it, but I liked it. It brings it back down to, I guess, like another dreamy point.
Right, like I said, I thought the whole album put me in like a dream, like it was just crazy. You'd say Park Music is another one of those like ethereal sort of tracks.
Yeah, and it's like it's very soft, I guess you could say.
Sure.
It's a very soft track. And after Park Music, we come into to another, I guess, psychedelic-esque and dreamy tracks. We have Living Underwater is Something Wild. And this one's kind of like, it kind of gives you the, like if you were just kind of, if you had the ability to go to the bottom of the sea, like Atlantis, Atlantis, and just being there and talking to someone who lived there, and them telling you that living underwater is something wild.
Yeah.
Like that's what this track gives me. Is like it kind of makes you feel like you're submerged underwater, like, and gives you like that weird dreamy feeling. Like, I'm not sure if you've ever had any of those dreams where you've dreamt that you're underwater and you could like breathe and stuff.
I don't think so. Would you say a lot of these tracks speak for themselves, but through the imagination?
It's some of them do speak for themselves, while some do kind of, have personal interpretation to them.
Yeah. I definitely agree with that.
But yeah. Yeah, we got Ricky in the chat asking what time the show is. But yeah, after that, after Living Underwater, we have another interesting track. Living Underwater kind of like has one of my favorite transitions into the next track, being let me see if I get this right. Hold on, I guess Ricky's on right now.
Yo, hello. Hello, amigos.
How you doing, man? Yeah. Yeah.
What's poppin'?
Not much. What are you doing?
I just got back from Malibu.
What were you doing in Malibu?
What were you doing in Malibu?
I took out Marilyn. She's right here.
Hi.
Hi.
Hello.
How you doing?
I'm fine, thank you.
That's good.
Where are you guys from?
From New Mexico. Where are you
I'm from Texas.
Where are you from?
I'm from BP, California.
Oh, nice. Well, you ever been to Laguna Beach?
Yeah, today was my first time. No, wait, not Laguna. We went to Malibu. Never mind.
Have you ever been to Laguna Beach though?
Yeah, once.
What's it like? Is it nice?
Yeah, it's really nice. There's big waves.
Is there a boardwalk too?
No, I don't think so.
I don't know which beaches have boardwalks and which ones don't. I was wondering if Laguna Beach had one.
Santa Monica.
Oh, Santa Monica does.
Huntington. Venice has one.
What about Newport?
Maybe.
So what were you two doing in Malibu?
Enjoying the beach.
Did I ask that already? I don't know.
So.
No, you didn't.
Was it hot or what?
It was really windy.
No.
Yeah, it was.
Windy.
It was very windy.
It wasn't even.
It was cold.
Look, these New Mexico winds, they changed me, bro.
No, New Mexico winds are something else.
These winds are nothing out here, dude. These winds are like weak.
They are weak, aren't they?
Yes, man. I kind of miss the winds, honestly. I miss like the 8-mile winds at you every day.
So what happens if you wear a hat?
You
don't wear hats?
I can't wear the hat I wore today.
No?
Yeah, like the New Mexico winds or something else. But Ricky, do you miss New Mexico? You excited to get back?
A little bit, but not a lot, honestly.
A little bit, but not a lot, he says. Well, Ricky, did you listen to the new Avalanches album? Wildflower?
The new what?
Avalanches album.
Oh.
Avalanches out?
Yeah, that's what we're discussing tonight.
What the heck is that?
Isaiah, this is where you step in.
The the new Avalanches album, Wildflower, is
Wildflower the name of the Avalanche?
no. No.
The band's name is the Avalanches, and the album is called Wildflower. Yeah.
Wildflower is the name of the album?
Yeah.
I used to
Really?
Yeah, I did. I knew the band.
Does she know about it?
No, I don't know what that is.
Oh, I can hardly hear you.
Hello?
Yeah, you're still on.
Oh, okay.
What's up?
She said no. No, she hasn't heard that band.
Well. Are you two
What kind of
driving right now?
music do they sing? Yeah. What kind of music do they sing? What kind of music do they play?
Isaiah? There's a
it's
certain word for it.
It's that weird stuff, bro.
Is it?
It's
Wait.
that dark, huh?
What do you,
No,
what do you
no,
mean
it's
by
not.
weird stuff? What does he mean?
I don't know, though. I don't know.
No, it's a mixture. It's of pretty much everything.
That doesn't sound good at all.
Is there screamo?
No, it's
Is it like your guys' album?
no.
Oh, yours is way better, huh?
Wait, theirs or ours?
Yours.
Well, I mean, ours was a masterpiece.
Heck
But-
yeah.
I mean, we're talking about a different
They made an
album.
They made an album.
Was it sick?
We're
Yeah,
talking
it was
about
dope.
we're talking about an album that was made by sampling everything that has like had been made before
Yeah, like
and turned into something new.
it's called Polyphonics. I forgot to mention this to Luke, but Wildflower had over 52 million samples.
52 million.
Yeah, so it's pretty intricate.
But that number 52 million?
That's not, yeah.
Isaiah, you're messing with me.
See, I only go by what people tell me, man.
No, 52 million is too big of a number.
I mean, but they had 16 years.
Oh, that's true.
Oh, you want me to stay?
Yeah.
I thought you were gonna go to the thing.
No, but I don't gotta go.
Isaiah, so you're telling me they could have spent those 16 years cataloging the samples before putting them together and publishing them.
Yes, I mean, like they got some really, exclusive samples.
Do you think it took them 16 years to get the copyright? Like the?
I don't know.
Do you think it took them that long to get the rights?
I hope not.
But it might have.
Hey, I don't know, man. Maybe.
Wait, hold on. Let's hear what they're doing. Are you guys driving somewhere?
Yeah, I just pulled up to her house right now.
At 10 p.m.?
Yeah, it's 10:10 right now.
It's pretty good.
Bro, dude, I didn't. No wonder freaking. You guys were like chatting so much, dude.
Well, what do you think we're doing?
I thought you guys were just talking about some random stuff like usual, dude. I like that. I like the cover though. Is that the cover with the butterfly and the American flag?
Yeah,
kind of?
that's the
Yeah.
album cover.
That's fresh, Doug. I will steal that. I'll put the flag in the back. I'll put R's on the freaking butterfly. Instead of A's, I'll put R's. Hey, Isaiah, you think you could do that?
I'll see.
R's instead of A's.
Yeah. And then like instead of a blue butterfly, an orange butterfly.
But you know, the two A's on the wings, you could put R, J, G.
Nah, just R's.
Just R?
Double R. Yeah.
Like, I'd want, if it was me, I'd want LWH on there, not just like L. Well, actually, I see what you. Never mind.
Bro, they got, bro, this is a fresh ass. I like their logo.
It's nice, huh?
I mess with it, bro. I dig it, honestly.
You should listen to it. It's on
Alright, I will.
Spotify.
Spotify.
That's where I listen. That's where I went to listen to it.
Okay. You faded ass fool. The show's now. I can't believe I missed the beginning of the show. Dang it. I'm so sorry, guys.
It's all good. You're
I'm
here
sorry.
now.
I'm sorry.
It's all good.
Like an hour late on the show, but I'm here though.
So, did you see anything interesting today? Like anyone getting hit by a car?
Oh, no, I just had like a really good day. Me and Marilyn walked the beach. We freaking found good parking and everything. It took like 45 minutes. Oh, well today freaking, oh, dude, well she had to use the restroom and I was on the 10, the Santa Monica freeway.
Yeah.
So I pulled over, I pulled over to an exit and I went to the gas station and I parked next to this guy that his tire was flat. And then I didn't see the owner of the car until like later after. I didn't see him until like we got the keys from the gas station market and then I walked her to the restroom outside.
Okay.
And I was sitting on the sidewalk like a weirdo and stuff, just chilling in the shade. And he was like, "Oh, you have a jack?" And I looked at him, I was like, "Damn, I can't lie to this guy." I was like, "Yeah, I do got a jack." I couldn't, bro. I couldn't just lie, you know. I want to feel like really mean, cause I saw his car, bro. It was in bad shape. So then he jacked up his car up, crank, and then he was putting his spare tire on. And then it took like a good 35 minutes, me and this guy, and then he was from Compton. His name was Al. And then we couldn't get the bolt inside the tire.
Okay.
And I was like, damn, dude, this is horrible. So he's like, you know what, I'm gonna try some of my rinky dink shit right now, bro. He got some wire from his back of his trunk, and then we just started fucking tying the tire towards the car. It's tying it real tight, bro, real tight. I was like, damn, I hope this works, cause we're in Mid City. It's like a different part of LA.
Okay.
And Mid City from Compton is like 30 minutes, bro. So like, fuck, I hope this fool could make it. So like, it took 35-40 minutes. I was there chilling, just talking with them, helping them out, getting down and dirty, you know. And then I left, you know. I put my jack in my car. I told him, hey, good luck, you know. And then he was leaving, right? I was at the stop. I was gonna make a left at the stoplight.
Yeah.
And he was gonna go straight. And bro, he was driving up to the light, bro, and the fucking tire came out, bro.
Oh.
And by that time, bro, I was passing him already. I was making my left, so I couldn't stop, bro. There's people behind me. I couldn't stop. Like fudge. I could only do so much, you know.
Yeah. So he was stopped too.
His tire, huh?
He stopped in the road, right?
Bro, his tire came out of the freaking car, dog. That's not funny. That's not funny at all.
I'm not laughing at the guy. I'm not laughing at the guy. I'm laughing at the comical idea of him still being able to make his turn after a tire pops.
That's what I'm saying, bro. I was so sad.
No,
dude.
I'm
I
not
was
laughing,
like,
man. That's
damn.
awful. That's awful.
But
I mean, you spent almost an hour helping him out.
Yeah, bro.
That really stings. Man.
No, dude, it was so bad. I was already making my left, dog. I see the tire come off, bro. I was like, fuck. I hope someone saved him, bro. I hope someone helped him.
No, I'm sure someone did.
I hope so. That's kind of fucked up if they didn't. Because he looked like he was out there for like hours, bro. When I got there.
Man. No, I'm sure someone came along and helped out.
I hope so. Yeah, I hope.
What'd you think about that, Isaiah? That whole story?
Pretty good.
It's pretty good. It's pretty good. But what are you doing right now?
Well, I'm just waiting for Marilyn. She'll be back right now. She's gonna show me her house.
That's cool. That's cool.
Yeah. Yeah, and then she's just making sure if no one's there.
Okay.
Yeah, bro.
I feel you. I feel you.
Sketchy or not sketchy, but shut up.
Are you like where are you waiting? At the street corner?
Yeah, I'm in my car just waiting.
I see. All right. Anything else happened today?
I saw a lot of wild dogs like in the beach. I was so scared.
Nah, you got nothing to
Like
be
not
afraid of.
Not wild, but like unleashed, you know?
Yeah, yeah. No, like not even that many dogs actually bite.
Nah, bro. I don't care. I'm scared of unleashed dogs.
Nah, you got nothing to worry about.
I was worried a lot.
Like generally, if you got a dog you don't know who's running at you, just turn your back to him. That's all you gotta do. You'll be fine. Jose, are you still there?
Yeah.
Do you want to continue on to the next track of Wildflower?
Yeah, hold on.
Sure. So we got Ricky waiting in his car. Is the engine on or off? I guess Ricky dropped out. But yeah.
Alright, I'm back in action.
Did you hear Ricky's story though?
Yeah, I heard that. That was pretty good.
It was pretty good. You'd be laughing, wouldn't you?
Honestly, dude, that'd be pretty good.
Oh, that's awful. You'd be like looking at your rearview mirror, and you see the tire pop off, and you think to yourself, "God is truly dead."
I'd probably be like, and I'd honestly probably be like, I'm just glad it's not me.
Oh man, that's pretty good. I believe.
Yeah, let's.
I believe our next track is "The Wizard of Is."
Yes, it is. Well, let me get back in the groove. So we just or earlier we talked about living underwater, something wild, and this has another one of those like really good transitions. It kind of has this weird like chanting like going on towards the end, and then like it kind of does a little bit of like what Frankie Sinatra did, and ironically enough, the Wizard of Iz features Mr. Danny Brown again. Towards the beginning of the track, you have that like I almost like want to call it like like it kind of reminds me of like a jungle or something, like a like a tribe or something,
Okay.
And like then like you get that weird like it has this like really upbeat, kind of savage beat, and then after that you get you get this kind of like really like falsetto from a girl singing, and then like it brings it back down, and you have kind of this like really 90s esque light singing, this girl singing I've been over the rainbow, which is kind of like reference to the Wizard of Oz,
Yes.
and then after a little while you get you get Danny Brown's verse, which isn't too long on this track. It's a pretty quick verse, talking about drugs again. and yeah, I mean, it's a really good track. I like this track. It's another banger on the album. This one's pretty like, it's a little bit more Avalanche. Like I guess for me, it's a little bit more Avalanches than Frankie Sinatra was.
What do you think Frankie Sinatra was?
I mean, I have nothing personal against like Frankie Sinatra. I loved it. I like the track. It's just kind of like Frankie Sinatra was more built to be a single,
Sure.
But I mean, I guess it still fits into the track listing.
I guess there's not many. Actually, there are a few, like you said, that can make it to, I guess, the quote-unquote standard of what makes a single. Would you agree?
Yeah, I mean, like, overall, Avalanches, like, Since I Left You wasn't about, like, the singles. It was about, like, the experience that kind of came with the album. Like, it's more of one of those albums that you have to, like, listen to all the way,
Sure.
But yeah, I mean, what were your thoughts on the Wizard of Iz?
I think this track adds to the that weird you could say, I guess, universal connection to everyone, that like odd familiarity of like, hey, I recognize this. Why do I recognize this? I think this track is another example of that. It's weird. I don't really know how to describe that or explain it.
Yeah, I feel that. Some good stuff.
Oh
some
yeah,
good stuff.
Definitely.
And then after that, we come into I guess another. How would you call it? Like, I keep calling them transitions, which they pretty much are, but like, it's another shorter track. This one being Over the Turnstiles. This one being just kind of another like 70s-esque track. This is how I can best describe it. And it's really dreamy. I don't know how to explain this one. It's more transitional. It kind of gives you a break after, like, the experience that was the Wizard of Iz,
Yeah.
Because up until I guess from Harmony to about Living Underwater or Something Wild, you kind of get that weird dreamy vibe, and then the Wizard of Iz comes in, just kind of banging, just kind of like knocking you in the face, they're like, yo, Joe.
Yeah.
And Over the Turnstiles is just kind of that like bring down again, and it just like
it's another like checkpoint.
Yeah, another like checkpoint, I guess you could call it that, and it brings it back down to that dreamy vibe, like you said, like one of the main like themes thematically is like a dreamy sense of just kind of nostalgia.
Oh yeah, and I totally got that listening to this album. I totally got that.
Yeah, Over the Turnstiles, pretty basic transition. Any thoughts on it?
Not really. Not much to say about Over the Turnstiles. I think it's funny how it goes from soft to something different to soft again, and but I don't know if there's any like detectable pattern, really. No definitive pattern to this album. Can't say for sure.
It has its like its vibes.
Yeah.
But then up next we have another track. This one being Sunshine. Sunshine. I like this track. This is one of the tracks that kind of have a little bit of a gripe on. I mean, just me personally. I'm not sure if it's just me or what, but for me, like Sunshine is one of those songs that it goes on and like she sings and then like they do that weird like loop on the last syllable, so it's like sunshine.
Oh yes, I remember that. I remember that.
My only gripe is like, for me personally, I feel like it goes on too long on repeats.
What the
yeah,
like that?
Yeah, me personally, I just kind of felt like it went on too long and it was just kind of like like it's a cool idea. I just felt like it could have been implemented a little bit shorter.
I personally liked it a lot. I think that was that gave it there's a sense of being drugged out, maybe, like. Do you know what I mean?
I could see that. I could see that. I mean, maybe this is just how do you say it? If they were to kind of like shorten that up a little bit, this song would be single worthy. I mean, but for the length that it is, it does make sense contextually. I just kind of personally feel like if it was a little bit shorter, it'd probably be radio friendly,
Sure.
But yeah, I mean, I like the track and it has that like dreamy vibe to it. Again, this one being a little bit more perky and happy, and it's one of those like how I say it, songs that's it kind of plays back to the concept of loving someone and all that,
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, you have any other thoughts on Sunshine?
Thoughts on Sunshine? I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, I mean, it's a good track.
Do you know the lady who was singing it? The part about the sunshine?
I believe that's a sample. I'm not sure what the sample is. I'm in the process of getting a solid copy of the album, which does contain a sheet with all the credits to all the samples.
Wow. So you're getting the actual like physical CD?
Yes.
That's awesome.
Yeah. But after Sunshine, we have Light Up. Light Up is another one of those dreamy tracks. It has like, I guess, some higher register flutes kind of going on and on throughout the track, and then you have kind of like this three. I believe it's like what is that? Like a trio of women singing. It's another one of those really 70s tracks. I believe like another one of those themes thematically around this album is kind of like the 70s and the 80s. You know, past times. This one being 60s, 70s, around there.
Sure.
And you have this like these women singing, and then you have these chimes playing, and it's really another one of those like pretty tracks that you can just kind of put on to, zen out to.
Oh yeah, definitely.
I
mean, the title itself contains certain connotations that suggest something.
A certain type of action.
A pastime. Actually,
a pastime.
Could you call it a pastime? Yeah, sure, you could call it a pastime. Anything could be a pastime. A retro pastime.
And with that, with that terminology and all that, it's pretty relevant to the idea of the 60s and the 70s.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh yeah.
But yeah, Light Up. It's pretty smooth track. Any other thoughts?
Oh yeah, like I think the latter parts of the album are very smooth, actually, and the smoothness goes with the dreamlike sequences. Do you think? I have a question. Do you think this album could be made into an animated movie, like Sgt. Pepper?
Actually, since you mentioned that, I'm just gonna post in the chat because I was gonna mention this at the end of it, but since you mentioned it now, I'm gonna get it out right now.
Don't tell me something is already being made. Don't tell me that something like this is already in the works.
Not necessarily. How would you
Or is there a Kickstarter?
I'm trying to get to the website. I can't remember the website for this. Let me see if it's on their actual website. Let me see. I'm going. No worries. But I'm just gonna explain it before I post the link. But there is actually a thing. It is called The Was.
The Was.
And yes, sir. And here it is right here. Actually. The Was is pretty much a how I would explain it, the visual version of Plunderphonics. I believe I shared this a couple of days ago. I'm not sure if you saw it, but pretty much what this is that they spliced together a bunch of old movies into one 14-minute project that contains every track, or not every track, but a few tracks and some deeper cuts from Wildflower. I highly recommend you watch this. This is one of the best pieces of cinematography I've ever watched.
Okay, definitely.
It is,
definitely I will.
It is so cool. Like you'll be in one scene, where like you'll have like the people from the X-Files, I believe, walking down the street, and in the background you can see Edward Scissorhands cutting some bushes, and then like some animated characters walking down the street, and you have Cheech sitting down at a light post. It's just insane how much work was put into this, and it's literally like one of the best things I've ever seen.
Sounds very interesting.
So it technically was put into like an animated type film, and also speaking of that, the Avalanches were actually working on a project, an animated project that was scrapped a couple of years back. But how they described it was the hip hop version of Yellow Submarine.
No way.
Which is a bummer that it got scrapped. I mean, who knows? Maybe with the success of Wildflower, the project will be revamped and restarted. We can only hope,
Oh yeah.
But back to the album, we're closing in on the final tracks of the album. Up next, we come to Kaleidoscopic Lovers. I believe I said, or Kaleidoscope Lovers. Oh, and this track is beautiful. Man, it's like it has this really like weird like wah wah effect throughout it, and then it has this kind of like a theremin kind of going on, and then these
Oh, a theremin is used?
I believe that's what I kind of hear, is like a theremin kind of sweeping up and down, and then you just kind of have all these like, there's just so much going on at the same time, but it pieces together so well, and it creates this really a psychedelic like piece that's just so lovely, and it's almost like looking through a kaleidoscope.
Oh yeah, but like orally, through sound.
Yeah, like if you were like to put like a kaleidoscope into audio form, I feel like it would sound something like this,
Yeah.
And then again, it kind of references back again to the whole love idea, which is really like nice. And for me, it's one of the, I feel like this is an album that you could listen to with someone you're falling in love with,
Yeah.
Like, I could picture something like that, meeting someone and, going on a cruise with them and putting on Wildflower and, just bonding. That sounds really nice,
Oh, definitely.
But, yeah, Kaleidoscopic Lovers, do you have any other feedback on this track?
Feedback on Kaleidoscope Lovers. I need to go back and listen to a lot of these tracks and make sure I catch not everything, but as much as I possibly can. I feel like I think it's the truth, like it's a fact that you cannot grasp everything the first time listening. You need
yeah. I mean, even to this day, I've listened to it like the amount of times that I have, and it's still.
How many times have you listened to it?
A lot. Like, it's just one of those albums, and I've been excited for this album. This was like my most anticipated album of the year,
No, definitely. Like, it was back in February or March that you first told me about the Avalanches, so that's like 3 months before you got the first listen. 3 or 4 months.
Yeah.
So I know you had been waiting for it for a good while.
Yeah, I mean, I've been listening to the Avalanches for years now,
Yeah.
Since I left you, it's just been one of those albums that I just kind of turn back to and listen to.
Yeah, that's why that's what I figured, was that you had been listening for a long time.
But yeah, so it's just it's just one of those things that I can't shake. But up next we have the second to last track. We have us. We got Ricky back.
Jello?
Hello. What's going on?
Speak hello.
Can you speak a little louder? I can't really hear you.
You. They want to hear you. Because you're the voice of Divertia right now.
What's up? What's up?
Hello there, welcome back.
We just finished watching that video.
What
Which
video?
one?
What video?
The was.xyz.
What'd you think of it?
It was weird.
And lost. And I was lost.
What was the purpose of that video?
It kind of takes a couple of tracks from Wildflower and kind of puts them into like a visual form.
What's Wildflower? Their
Wildflower's the album.
that they made.
I'm talking about barefoot.
No, I just don't think this. You gotta be legit.
Okay.
You gotta be legit.
Alright, what's the party at?
But getting back to the album.
Oh, okay.
Oh. Well, I don't know. We were just confused, dude. Like, I like the beginning, jumping on the subway. I like the intro, but after that, I like the Warriors. Like when the Warriors were in the subway, it was funny.
Oh no, I haven't even seen the video yet that you guys just watched. I'm gonna watch that later. I haven't even seen it
dude,
yet.
It's gonna make you think a lot about what's up with the Avalanches.
Yeah, I'm sure it will make me think. Yeah.
And these are just like the names,
Yeah,
songs?
yeah,
like these stitches.
yeah.
Are these like the bangers, the slaps?
Well, we're going track by track. We're doing every track of the album and explaining them and reviewing them, etc.
Ricky, did a lot of the imagery you saw in that video make you you know, like what did it bring to mind? Pop culture, things like that. The movies
they're
all
like
the movies
different-
you've seen.
Yeah, they're like different films. Like it went together.
I don't know if this comes through in the video, but the album gives you this sense of familiarity, even though you're not familiar with it. Would you say the video does the same thing?
Yeah.
Okay.
So
So
these
you
are
like-
the name of the songs.
Yeah.
How do you even pronounce the last name? The last song you just put.
Kaleidoscopic Lovers.
I like that. Do you know who designs like these stitches?
Let me check, cause this is the back of the album.
Oh, okay.
It'll tell me right here. It's
They put me on some weird stuff. I just don't even pay attention to that.
let's see.
I think someone's here from Moses.
I don't think it says anywhere where who made the art.
So, what is the next track after kaleidoscopic?
It's after that we went into the track Step Kids. Step Kids is the second to last track on the album. It features Jennifer, Harema, and Warren Ellis. I'm not necessarily familiar with with their work. But Step Kids as a track is very interesting. It takes another one of them like weird steps in a different direction, you know?
Yeah. What kind of direction?
It sticks with the weird, dreamy, psychedelic vibe, but it kind of reminds me of how I guess you could say like the '60s, those duos, you know, with the husband and wife types, you know, where they're both singing, you know, like it reminds me of one of those "I Got You, Babe" situations.
Amigos,
What's up, man?
can you put the link to your guys' album?
Sure. Isaiah can do it.
Marilyn would love to hear it.
Just put the Bandcamp link.
And,
Alright.
I'm gonna put Marilyn on right now.
Sure, go ahead.
Are you ready?
For what?
Are you ready to hear this?
Okay, go.
Play her daddy. Play daddy. I mean, play daddy for her.
No, bro, we're going song by song.
Okay, sure, go song by song.
All right. This is what these guys are on right now.
Can you hear?
Hello?
Yeah, you're still on.
Oh. Okay.
Dark. The positions and nightmares.
They're called the night crawlers.
Alright, so they're just gonna like play our album.
yeah, I guess they're just gonna listen to it.
Alright,
we're
so
still on Step Kids.
Step Kids is you know, it's a bit weird. It reminds me of that "I Got You, Babe," but at the same time, it gets this like has this weird vibe of like, I don't know, like it's very melodic. I guess you could say.
Oh yeah, I think a big part of the album is melodic. It goes with the dreaminess parts.
Yeah, it's very dreamy, and this track, it's just kind of it's funny because you know you have that like you have her singing like something about $1 and it's like da 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 da, and then I don't know, it's a really like nice track. Overall, it's pretty. I guess not ragtime, but you know, it's very dreamy. Dreamy ragtime is how I would kind of like.
That's a good way to put it.
But yeah, do you have any other thoughts on Step Kids?
No other thoughts on the Step Kids.
And then finally we come to the last track of the album. We have Saturday Night Inside Out. This track is a strange one, but it's an amazing one. It's so different. This track is really different. You kind of have this like this weird beat kind of going in your ear, like it's kind of like phasing left and right, and it's like kind of like if you were like rubbed like towards the end of a violin or something, and you know it's kind of like almost like harsh but not necessarily, and it's phasing back and forth. And then this track features Father John Misty and David Berman. This track is very strange because after a little bit of this kind of like weird phasing, you run into some spoken word by Father John Misty throughout the track. Him kind of putting some like weird visualization in, like he's talking about like walking into certain places and you know seeing stuff, and like it kind of puts this weird like picture in your head, and for me, it kind of distorts like the pictures that I would see because of like this weird beats that's kind of going on, you know?
Yeah. What do you think the song is about?
I'm not sure. Like, honestly, I'm not sure what the song's about. Like, cause it has so many different like, you know, like tiers. Like you get that weird like kind of like fast waviness, and then like it kind of gets to like a happier, you know, like funk-esque, you know, 60s pop music types like sound, and then it goes back to, you know, that like weird sound again, and it's just all over the place, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
But you know, overall it's like it's a really nice ending to the album. It puts you like, it leaves you on this weird note that
No, I want to get on that. I have something to say about that. This was my first, you know, time listening to an Avalanches album. I didn't know what to expect when the end came, right? I didn't know if it was gonna go out with a bang or what. And I get to the last song. I'm like, this is the last song. This is the one that closes out this long-awaited album. And then it just fades out. And I'm like, okay. What did you think about the ending?
It's strange. I personally thought it was a good ending. It ended on a weird note, you know, like, and it left you wanting more, you know.
No, it definitely did.
Because, you know, for the Avalanches, it's kind of hard for you to, like, you know, like, I don't know, explain them but understand them, because, you know, once you do get around to listening to Since I Left You, that album has really like I say it, a really soft, like perfect ending, you know, like one of like the best endings of any album I've listened to. It has one of the most perfect endings, you know.
Yeah,
like it's one of those, like, it has that type of ending that's so nice that you just want to start at the very beginning just to hear the ending again, you know.
Sure.
And what Wildflower did was it left you on the note saying that they weren't like done yet, you know, like it left it on a strange note, and it pretty much said we're approaching this differently, you know. When this isn't Since I Left You 2.0. It's not. It's, how I say it, it's something completely different. Like they were reinventing themselves, and that's what they did with this album. Is they reinvented what the Avalanches were, while keeping that same, you know, that same vibe that the Avalanches had Since I Left You, with the transitions and the samples and all that. But they took it in a direction that honestly no one saw coming, you know. Everyone was just expecting like them to do what they did on Since I Left You, and that be that. But instead they, you know, they took it and they turned it into something strange but beautiful, you know.
No, definitely. Final thoughts. The fade out on the last song speaks to you like it's saying like they'll be back. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. I mean, like, hopefully it won't be another 16 years until the next Avalanches record, you know. But I think there's more to come, you know.
Oh yeah.
Overall, it's an amazing album. If you haven't heard it already, I really highly suggest that you do. It's for me personally, I believe this is going to be my album of the year. I would honestly, I mean, for a basic listener, I mean, I'd probably suggest listening to Since I Left You first, just to kind of get a grasp on what the Avalanches are, and then come to Wildflower. But I mean, it's all up to you and how you wanna go approach it. But both albums are great and amazing. And if I had to give it a number rating, I'd give it a solid 9 out of 10. It has some gripes here and there, you know, stuff that's, you know, pretty minimal, but you know, it does kind of affect some parts, but nothing too significant. So I'd probably give it like a good 9 out of 10.
That's an excellent rating.
What about you, Luke? What are your final thoughts on Wildflower?
I cannot give it a rating until I've listened to it a few more times. Cause this is new territory for me. I imagine it's new territory for a lot of people who probably weren't even aware of the Avalanches when Since I Left You was released.
Yeah, I mean it's probably like a completely new experience for some people.
That's probably the point, isn't it?
Oh yeah.
Would you consider it a concept album? Or is this an album of an entirely different type?
I'd say it's conceptually an album for concepts, if that makes sense.
Okay. That seems very fitting, I think.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. It's pretty great.
Oh yeah. So you're making me want to just like stay up, listen to it again right now. I'm not gonna lie.
It's all up to you, Luke. I mean, honestly, like I might listen to it too, but I'll probably wait till tomorrow because I'm pretty exhausted. But I would right now, Luke. I'd really recommend that you watch The Was after the show's over, because that's some really amazing stuff. I'm probably gonna watch The Was after this, actually.
Oh, I'll do that right after. I hope you all enjoyed this track-by-track analysis by Isaiah of a really great album that's only 8 days old.
It's only 8 days old.
8 or 9 days old. So yeah.
Yeah. I'm pretty tired. I'm probably gonna watch The Was and then head to sleep. I'm not sure if Ricky was gonna do anything. If anything, we'll have him on next weekend and see what their thoughts were on our album. You know, maybe they can give us a little bit of a quick track by track of our album.
Ooh, we could do that next show. 3 more shows, and we're back in Portales. So let's call it for the night. And
all right.
I'll catch you later.
Catch you later, Luke.
Till next time.
Till next time.
Divertia AfterDark.
I got summer on my mind, nowhere else, no. Lord, take me downtown to you. People show me love, but I can't take it. What I said was true, real pain can't fake it. Still they wanna be with me, still they wanna leave with me, still they wanna feel like Where we from?